So are you guys thinking about trying this Valvoline Restore and Protect? Let's see if we can learn something while I do this. So this motor, I believe it has 196,000. Let me check. Okay, 197,356. So the motor's got 197,000 miles, and not too long ago I did a valve lash adjustment, and when I did that I noticed that it was pretty bad underneath that valve cover. And let me take this cap off to show you what I mean. So I'm not sure if you guys can get a good view, but yeah, it's pretty bad in there. So I want to try to remove some of that buildup. Again, when I took off the valve cover, I couldn't believe how much buildup there was in there. So I'm going to try to do something about it. Hopefully this does the trick. I know it's a lot to ask for, but as long as it improves something, I'm happy. So we're going to use this valve cover oil fill as an inspection window during this process. But yeah, I'm going to drain the oil and replace the filter. I'm not going to show that because that's pretty straightforward. You guys should know how to do that. But I will show you guys the outcome of this Restore and Protect Valvoline oil. Hopefully it does something, and hopefully I can show you guys if it's doing anything. Again, it's pretty bad in there. But yeah, let's give this a try. Hopefully we learn that this is a good product, and this is a good candidate. This motor is a good candidate for it. Hopefully it does a good job, and I can help others with this video. But before I drain the oil, let me show you guys what this motor sounds like. Okay. So it's pretty quiet. Like I said, I did a valve adjustment not too long ago. Alright, so out with the old and in with the new. Alright, I'm back. So I'm just over 500 miles, and let's check through our inspection window and see what it looks like, see if there's a difference. So I haven't opened that up. I haven't seen what that looks like. So this is going to be a surprise for both of us. So let's see what we got. Okay. So I don't see much difference. Nothing huge. Sorry about the light. But I do notice that that nut is just a little more cleaner. But yeah, some of that inside valve train looks just a tad bit cleaner. Again, the nut looks cleaner. The top of that bolt looks cleaner. What I'm going to do next is replace that oil filter, open that up, and see what that looks like. See if there's any chunks of anything or if the filter is clogged. Okay guys, so I just opened it up. I used one of these guys. So I know nothing fell in there, but before I open this up, I did notice that there's some stuff right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but yeah, there's some little dried up oil that looks kind of like charcoal dust. And wow, look at that. There's some more of that. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, I'm glad I changed that filter, because there's a lot of this little stuff. Some more on the bottom here. And this is the top. Oh yeah. You guys see that? Just more of that black soot. Okay. I'm trying to set this light down. Okay, so this is what's in the cup itself on the bottom. Oh yeah, look at all that, huh? So I'm sure a lot of that is caught in that media, that filter. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff inside. Okay, so let me drain some. No big chunks, just a lot of that smaller stuff, as you can see. Okay, so I'm glad I changed that filter, because I'm sure this paper filter is just full. I'm gonna see if I can try to open this up so you guys can see inside of there, but it's kind of hard to spread. Let me take this apart, and the more I touch it, I mean the more of that black stuff's all over my fingers. But let me try to tear this apart, open up these pleats so I can show you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this open. Took the bottom and top off. Let's see if I can pull this apart and open this up. And sorry about the dirty hands, it's just a nasty job. But look at that, holy. Look at that, guys. That filter caught so much. Wow. That's insane. Now there is supposed to be some kind of additive in this oil that's supposed to prevent any of this soot from blocking or clogging the filter. But I mean, I had worst case scenario. As far as like soot or a dirty engine. I mean, look at that. I'm not sure if you guys can see. I mean, every piece of this filter looks like it caught a bunch of that soot. I'm not sure if I'm using the right word or terminology for that, but as you can see, and it's not just a little bit, I mean, it's a lot. So I'm glad I changed that filter like I said. And if your engine is as bad as mine is inside, I would definitely change that at 500 miles or sooner. Because I didn't know what I was going to find, but that's a lot. That is a lot of stuff inside this filter. So I'm glad I opened that up. I didn't have that tool to cut these filters open, but I bought it just for this reason, and I'm glad I did because I was able to show you guys. It's a nice clean cut. So I'm gonna keep this just to compare it as we go along. I'm just gonna put this all in here. Am I worried? No, not really. I'll just change the filter again in another 500 miles. I'd recommend, if you're doing this, to change it even sooner or quicker. But yeah, I'm just gonna put this back in this filter like so. Save that. And I'll keep holding on to these and comparing them. And hopefully after, let's say, our 4th oil change, we can look back at this filter and say, wow, what a difference. Back with the Valvoline Restore and Protect. I'm just over 1,000 miles. So let's take a look at what we find under our inspection window. Here we go. Got my light, and this time I fixed it so it's not gonna blink on us the whole time. Okay. So it looks a little bit cleaner. I'm not sure if you guys can see all that. It was just running, that's why you kind of see a light fog in there. But yeah, it's actually taking whatever deposits off and making it look cleaner in there. Now if I look deeper inside, that's where it was like really nasty last time. And it looks a little better. But yeah, it's actually looking better and better. The top of that nut is looking cleaner and cleaner. And I'm sure I've said this before, this is an extreme case. And if this oil can do anything to help the inside of this motor, it deserves all the credit it's due. So yeah, it's looking better in there. I'm gonna change the filter again. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but at 500 miles or just over 500 miles, there was a lot of deposits in that filter. So let's see what happens. Right. So I got the filter off, and just a quick look before I open it, if there's any chunks of anything on the top. I don't see anything on the top. And as far as the inside, it looks normal. No kind of like small sand deposit like material. Looks clean. So the filter was doing its job if there's a lot of stuff inside. But let me open this up, and I'll show you guys what that looks like inside. Okay. I got some oil I'm just gonna drain. Okay, I'm looking at the top of this filter. Doesn't look bad. Alright. Looking at the top of this lid. Again, clean. Okay. Okay, so I see little deposits in there. So again, the filter was doing its job. Trying to show you guys everything I see. And I'm sure I drained a lot of these deposits out when I just drained the filter a second ago. But yeah, The oil is very dark, and some deposits inside. Nowhere near as bad as it was the first time we checked, but there is stuff in there, so the oil is knocking stuff down. And let me put you guys down, and we'll look at the filter here, see if there's anything that we can quickly look at before I take this apart. And this is already showing a whole lot less stuff inside this filter. So what I'm going to do is cut this apart, stretch this out so I can show you guys what it caught. Okay, so I do see small traces of stuff. Again, that those oil little deposits, little black. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's kind of hard for me to show you. But it's a whole lot less. Try to give you guys some better lighting here. So hopefully that light isn't too bright, but as you can see, there's just a lot less of those deposits in this filter. Okay, good. And this is a whole lot better than the first oil filter that I cut open and showed you guys. Actually, let me go get the other one to compare it. Alright, sorry about that flickering. I'm not sure what's causing that. I think it's this light. But looking at it here in person, it's not flickering, just so you guys know. But here's the one I just showed you guys. It looks pretty clean. As you can see, there's still some deposits there. But this other one, I mean, wow. Look at that. That first one, that first filter went through a lot. As you can see, that is a lot. So this is less. And same with the cup. There was less that we found. The oil does look dirty. And this is the first filter I opened up. You can see all those deposits clinging onto the side of the filter wall. Pretty bad. So I think this is the last time I'm gonna change the filter. You know, of course I'm gonna change the filter when I do oil change, but I'm gonna leave this be. I think I'm gonna leave this be until I change the oil, and I'm gonna change the oil around 3,000 miles, and we'll tear open that filter at 3,000 miles and see what that looks like, and we'll compare it to what we have on the table. But yeah, it's a lot less on this second filter, so I feel like I can just let that go for longer and not worry about clogging up the filter and starving the motor for any kind of oil. So yeah, this is going well. Like I said, I do see an improvement inside. Yeah, 3,000 miles. I'll be back, guys. All right, guys, I'm back, and that's the mileage I'm supposed to replace the oil by, or at, and that's where I'm sitting right now. I am shy of that, and I'm going to be replacing the oil. So let me just show you guys what the head looks like under that oil cap. Alright, so first let's check to see how the head's doing, if it's cleaned up anymore at all. I got a little light here. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's kind of hard to show you what I'm looking at here. I mean, it looks like it's cleaning up, but it's still pretty bad in there. But the most important part would be what's in the filter, right? That's why I'm making these videos, just to see what's happening. I know that this oil is knocking stuff off the inside of the engine because we see it in the filter, but the last filter we opened up had less. So we're about to see what's in this filter, and let me just show you guys the condition of the oil, bring you guys to some light. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there you guys go. It looks pretty dirty. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'm gonna put some on my finger. There you go. Pretty black. So that's the reason I'm changing the oil on the car. I just I don't like driving around with that kind of oil condition and having this be my daily. Alright, so I'm gonna move the car over, put it on some ramps, drain the oil. We'll cut up that filter and see what's inside of it. Okay, here we go. So I'm about to pull the plug. If you guys are wondering if I wiped off all the oil on the bottom of this pan, no, I didn't. This thing is always that bright and shiny. I'm just playing. I'm sure you guys know that those who follow that this thing needs a oil pan gasket. So yeah, it leaks pretty bad. But I got my wrench down here. I'm gonna try to set you guys down so you can see. And of course the wife shows up. Thought I had some free time. And here we go. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Forgot I had a magnet. So I got that part back in. That's all done and flushed. And now for the filter. I always love doing that because it always ends up in my armpit when I break that loose. And so let's see if I can avoid this from going in my armpit. Did I do it? Okay, good. So this is gonna leak a little bit and then it'll stop, and then when I take it off all the way it'll leak again, and that's when I get dirty. So I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the filter that just came out, and those are the two previous ones, and we'll be comparing them just to see the difference. A little more, I think. There we go. Okay. So no debris on the lid. There's still a lot of oil in this one. No debris on this rubber piece. A lot of oil still. Let me dump this oil And I'll be right back. Here we go. Okay, so we got a little debris inside the cup. Not as much as the first time I did this. So it's still knocking stuff down. And let's look at that filter media, and we'll see what's in the filter. So again, little debris I find on that. No big chunks anywhere. So here we go. Okay, not much inside the paper filter. And we'll turn it around, see if we see anything on the other side. But as far as this side, it looks clean. Let's see this side. Oh yeah. Okay, so there's still debris that's being caught, which is great, and which is why I wanted to also replace the oil, because the oil looked very black, like I said, and yeah, I didn't want to clog up the filter, cause an issue. So yeah, that looks like it's catching a lot of stuff still. A lot of stuff still getting knocked down. So we'll just compare it to the second one. This is the second one I did. The paper doesn't look as dark. And the second one, there is debris in it, but not much. As you can see, little tiny black dots. And the color difference, look at that. Huge difference. Look at that. Huge difference in debris. So like I mentioned, that oil's still knocking stuff down. And all the filters that I've been using are OEM that I bought at the dealer. And this is the very first filter that I replaced with the oil. And like I said, that is a huge difference, or that is a big amount of material or whatever sludge, dried up sludge that the filter caught. There we go. And fill this up. Oop. Listen to that engine purr. So this is the second time I've used this product, and I'll be using it for another 3,000 miles. Alright, I'm back. There's been a bit of a problem with the car. It needs a head gasket, so I'm only going to be able to show you this other one, oil change number 2, and open up that oil filter and just see what it caught and what's in that filter. I let it run throughout the 4,500 miles that I put on this oil. So, but yeah, let me move this car, get it on ramps, and we'll see what's in that filter. Okay, so before I drain this or get started, I'm going to show you guys underneath this oil cap. And you know, I fill or top off this oil because, you know, this is an older car. It's got miles on it, so I do got to keep my eye on the oil level. But looking through this hole here every once in a while, I do see that it's really cleaning the inside up, as you can see. The wall of the valve cover still looks pretty bad, but as far as like that rocker arm, the valve spring, and just anything around that area, looks like it's getting cleaned up pretty good. So I do see a difference. This is again the second time running this oil. Yeah, as far as the oil, it's doing its job. And I do recommend using Valvoline Restore and Protect, because it's been knocking down a lot of that dirtiness inside and just making things cleaner. As far as sound, I believe it sounds like it's running smoother, but that could just be, you know, something I'm making up in my head. But yeah, let's drain the oil and see what we find in that filter. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna drain that oil and set up a table to open up that filter. All right, let's see what we can find here. Did the oil change? You guys didn't need to see that process. So let's open this up and see what we find. The oil was very dark, so we'll see what's inside this filter. Okay. Oof, there's still a lot of oil in there. Okay. Okay, no particles on this piece. Whoa. And as you can tell, I mean, this oil is pretty dark looking. Let's drain what's in this cup, but I'm gonna bring you guys along just to see if there is any chunks. Okay, so I do see some debris in there. I'll show you guys what that looks like in a second, but it isn't much. But it's good to see that there is something inside. And there it is. Can you guys see that? All right. Here is the media, whatever you want to call this, the filtering side. Let me take this apart. Okay, here's a little bit of stuff on this part of the filter. You can see the little chunks. Okay. Inside. Let me see if I can, let me cut this open so I can open the pleats and show you guys what's in between them. Here we go. Let's see what's inside. Oh yeah. Lots of stuff. Still knocking stuff down. And again, about 4,500 miles on the oil. And I'm just kind of going over this pretty quick, showing you guys. But I'll bring the camera a little closer so you guys can see. But there is still a lot that's being knocked down and being caught. Nothing big, but as you can see right there, that is just dried up sludge. Can you guys see that? Hopefully. Again, let me take you guys outside. Maybe that natural light will help. How about I step into the natural light? that's better, but it is very hard to show because the filter is so dark now. Here we go. This is it's catching a lot. It's knocking down just a lot of stuff inside, which is, you know, the only way to do that, I believe. But yeah, it's doing its job. As you can see right there, that's a good little section. A lot of stuff inside that filter. Here's some chunks on my thumb. But yeah, I'm glad it's doing its job. Okay guys, so I got the first oil change with Restore and Protect. So this was the very first filter, the one in the back row here. And I'm gonna try my best to show you guys the filter on that again. Very, very dirty. And this filter didn't run very long, only because I was worried about it being clogged. I don't remember exact mileage, but yeah, this was the dirtiest of them all for being on the engine the least amount of time. So, and that's the inside of that cup. It was very dirty. This was the filter I replaced it with. I ran it for a short amount of time. That came back with very light debris. And this was after I decided to change the oil. So that doesn't look that bad. Still was catching stuff. There's a bug in there, but still knocking stuff down, as you can see. And this is oil change number 2 of the Valvoline Restore and Protect. Ran about 4,500 miles. The only filter used during that oil. Like I mentioned, the oil was very dirty, and the filter did catch a lot of stuff. And as you guys saw under the cap, it is getting cleaner. So this stuff works, guys. I believe the more you run this, the more and more the inside of that engine will be clean. So if you guys got something older, it doesn't look the cleanest inside, start running this. I did notice that the car is quieter. Maybe just runs a little smoother. You know, just knocking sludge off inside is a plus. So some of you might be saying, why did I waste my oil if I'm going to do a head gasket? And it's only because I wanted to see the results of running the Valvoline Restore and Protect for the second time with 4,500 miles. And you know, the evidence is right there. It's getting cleaner. And again, if you guys are thinking about getting some of this Restore and Protect, the results are right in front of you. This stuff works. As I shown you under the valve cover there, it's getting cleaner. And yeah, I wish I could show you guys more, but like I said, this thing needs a head gasket now. So if you guys are into wrenching or into Hondas, you might want to think of subscribing, because I bought this as a daily driver and I'm slowly bringing it back to a decent car. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. I do recommend Restore and Protect to anyone looking to clean up the inside of the engine and maybe get some more life out of it. So alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.